the tree. They're in the tree right there. She's a big bear. Look at that. The best part about it was I spotted it. They were notified over the radio that the cubs were in the trap, and they said, come on up, and we were able to capture some of the most incredible footage we've ever filmed. Right behind that tree. I'm gonna get in the prone. He's gonna come down this way.
I'm Jana Waller. I'm a skull artist and lifelong hunter. My passion for the planet runs deep. And I'm searching for a connection to the past while living in the moment.
You just heard a wheel from the bottom. We're gonna try to help him in.
I'm helping protect our hunting heritage one skull at a time. Bound to make a difference. I'm skullbound.
This has been such a special project for me because the one thing different about this skull than most of the skulls that I work on is that I was actually on this hunt with my girlfriend Pat Hendrickson in New Mexico, where she harvested this great black bear. Pat left it to me to do a little bit of my own creativity. She definitely liked the bear paw symbol that was on some of the other bear skulls that I've painted, but she really wanted a New Mexico landscape, and she wanted to include a rainbow because there were rainbows that night that she shot her bear. So we've got the bear paw with the rainbow. I've given the front definitely a New Mexico flair, if you will. And we've got the date. She harvested the bear the 31st of August 2011. We've got New Mexico here. And I am so excited to get this skull back to her. I believe there's often a misconception about bear hunting. I hear from some hunters, and especially non-hunters, who criticize bear hunting. They might say, well, I'm a deer or elk hunter, but I don't bear hunt. And I always bring up the important topic of predator management, that one of the key factors that we can control in having healthy, sustainable, big game populations like mule deer and whitetail and elk is to maintain the numbers of predators in certain areas. One of the reasons the Clam Lake elk herd in my home state of Wisconsin is not thriving right now is because of black bears. I didn't even grasp the importance of bear hunting until I moved out west into big bear country. I can hear a grouse down by the creek. I tell you, you gotta love spring bear hunting, not just because it's bear hunting, one of my favorite things to do, but because it's springtime. You know, you've been cooped up all winter long, at least here in the west, you know, in the snowy mountains of Montana. But it's a time to just be able to get out and hike and get fresh air and hopefully find some sheds and see critters coming back to life with spring in the air. Now we're gonna hike up into one of our favorite canyons. Last year in this area we saw a sow with cubs and another nice black bear that was on a ridge way far away with the light fading fast. But we got our hunting GPS maps in case we want to branch over into a couple of other canyons, and always want to make sure that we're walking the legal line. But you never know what you're going to see out here, and that's the beauty of hunting. We've got some winter moose poop here. or moose poo, as Mike Rowe would call it. But this is a great canyon for moose. We've seen them up here before. It's a good spot for a bear. We've hiked up high and we're gonna work around this edge, but we can glass forever. The downside is we're running out of light if we see something far away, but this ridge we're on right now, we've seen a lot of bear over the last few years. And it's sprinkling on us a little, but it's nice and cool. It's 45 degrees out. And really super quiet. So we gotta be careful of our crunches. Hopefully we don't have to do another bootless run. I shot my elk last year in my socks, and it was fun to get the elk, but not fun on my feet. So we'll have to be quiet. The tree, they're in the tree. They heard us, they're in the tree. They're in the tree right there. They're in the tree. She's beautiful. Look at that. They must have winded us or heard us and went scampering up that tree. We came around this corner and stopped to glass, and I heard sticks breaking. I couldn't tell where it was coming from because the echo in this canyon. And I glassed down and I saw this bear up in the tree, but from where I was glassing quick, I couldn't tell that it was actually up in the tree. I saw it was a big brown-faced black bear on the ground. Well, as I looked closer with my binos, I could tell she had a cub with her, but a big cub. I mean, that's a 2-year-old cub. She's still in the tree right now, and he climbed down. Oh, she's gonna climb down right now. Watch this. Actually, I think she's making herself comfortable. I don't know. No, there she goes. She's a big bear. Look at that. So awesome to be able to get to watch a sow with a cub like that, you know, in the wild, and that was so cool. The best part about it was I spotted it. Cameraman Jimmy here can spot a black bear in, you know, a coal pile, for crying out loud. He always spots everything first. I get to claim that one, but that was awesome. Let's find her boyfriend. What an incredible first day of the spring bear hunt. To have an encounter like that with a beautiful cub was just fantastic. The only other time I've been closer to a cub happened to be 2 grizzly cubs at the Clearwater Game Range here in Montana.
Something interesting that happened earlier today is windstorm, where we were shed hunting just up over this ridge right here, there was a grizzly spotted with 2 cubs, which is obviously a dangerous situation. A gentleman came over to us and said, you guys definitely want to move out of the area. There's a not so friendly grizzly up over this one ridge. So we moved south. Well, later on we heard some shots, and apparently this grizzly had charged a gentleman, and he fired a round and then ran off, and the grizzly kept on after him and was gaining ground. He was able to turn around and get his wits about him and fire off another shot. And unfortunately, you know, they had to put the grizzly down. Right now they're trying to capture the cubs. They've got the mom they're using up there inside one of the traps, and they're hoping to capture the cubs so that they can relocate those cubs.
We're waiting. We have our bear specialist, Jamie Jonkel, out of Region 2 Missoula headquarters here, and he's up waiting. We actually had the cubs. We just had a report of the cubs were right by the trap, and one of the antler hunter enthusiasts came out of here, and they walked down in there just making sure everybody was okay because they had heard of the incident. And we didn't have one of our personnel waiting there, and they kind of pushed the cubs away from the trap. So hopefully with some quiet time, that was the last vehicle supposedly to come out of here other than one four-wheeler. So hopefully with more quiet time they'll come down and climb in the trap, and then we can finish up with our necropsy and our investigation.
Okay, we'll meet you up there. He changed his mind. He's worried that with people out all night, he wants to just load it now.
I think we should.
If you guys don't mind giving us a hand, we could sure use the help.
Sure.
It's gonna be a little heavy getting her out. She's 300 pounds and the trap's probably 150 at least, maybe 2. So it's gonna be a little bit work getting it out of there, but that way we've got control of it. We're gonna head back up to the trap site. The dead sow is in the trap, the 2 cubs are in the trap, and we're gonna carry the trap down the hill. It's only about 30 yards to where Jamie's truck is parked. Load everybody up and just bring them out tonight so that there's no chance they'll get disturbed overnight or have somebody stumble into the trap in the dark. They're really beginning to expand the range over the last 10 years into the Blackfoot. It's amazing how many we have now compared to even 10 or 15 years ago. It's pretty routine. Luckily, incidents like this aren't. She came right off that ridge. That's where the fella ran into her, and then she's about 30 yards up from that truck.
Wrap one, play it around.
This is one of those that collapse down.
Well, these guys had everything all, solidly prepared. All I had to do was come in with a bunch of twine, and we set the trap and stuffed her body inside the trap. With these cubs of the year, they want to be by mom, and luckily they did. They just crawled on top of mom and yanked down the door.
As we walked up to that trap with anticipation, and I put the smaller camera up to the hole in the cage, no one would argue that it wasn't a sad day that sow had to be shot. But I'm glad that man was able to return home safely to his family, and I'm so happy that the Fish, Wildlife, and Parks took the time to capture the cubs safely, relocate them to a facility in the Midwest, and hopefully educate people on the importance bears play in our environment, but also how dangerous they can be. The next free day we had available, you can bet that we were gathering up all our equipment and gear and heading into the mountains in search of a Montana bruin.
Last year we spotted a really nice brown-faced black bear right along this hillside. And on hot days, they're gonna come to this water. And it sure is hot today. Actually, I'm sweating. We've been hiking. It's about, a little before 4. Been out since early this morning. And this is a really good area.
Predators such as coyotes, wolves, mountain lions, and bears all play a part in the balance of our herds and flocks. Conservation groups such as the Mule Deer Foundation are dedicated to responsible wildlife management. They work closely with government agencies, private organizations, and landowners to ensure healthy populations and habitat. The Mule Deer Foundation strongly promotes public education and scientific research related to mule deer and wildlife management, and predator control is a large piece of that puzzle. We all need to get involved to restore, improve, and protect this icon of the West, the mule deer. I'm a member, and I hope you'll join today.
Right there.
I know. He's gonna come out on that opening right there.
Right behind that tree. I'm gonna get in the prone. He's gonna come down this way. He's gonna come. Do you see him?
Hit him hard, get up. Okay, right there. Yeah, he's right there, Dan. He's coming down the hill. You see him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming down the hill there.
Yeah, I got him. He's hit hard. He's hit really hard.
No, he's in the river. He's in the river!
He's like in the water on the edge, right there, Jimmy. I think his head is in the water. He's definitely done. Yeah, he's right there. Oh my gosh, that went down so fast. He's a beautiful blonde bear. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's not going to be fun to get out. Oh my gosh, we're so lucky. Look how he's hung up. He'd be way downstream. His muzzle's in the water. Down bear. Oh. That went down so fast. My first blonde bear.
Couldn't be more thrilled with him. Smoked bear meat is a delicacy. It is so wonderful. You know, you hear people say, bear meat's greasy. We have all ours turned into sausage. If you smoke them, they're wonderful. I guarantee it. And I feel blessed and honored to take this beautiful blonde bear, my first blonde bear ever. He's not a monster, but I've never been one that trophy hunts. I'm out for the experience, and I couldn't be more thrilled with this beautiful blonde bear.
Yay! I can't get over how fast that went down. Whew, now the work begins, and we will get working on him, dropping him off at the taxidermist and dropping him off at the smokers.